Hey, it's David Elder, and today on the Houston edition of Texas Eats, we're traveling around the Lone Star State looking for great restaurants you won't want to miss.
Get ready for a popular Middle Eastern restaurant serving up some flaming hot food.
Ooh. This lamb shoulder is nuts. Super tender, fall off the bone.
Plus, we go inside a top 50 barbecue joint slicing up the goods.
Oh my God. That's good. That's good.
And we check out a southwestern restaurant in Georgetown.
If you're looking for a steak option out here in Georgetown, you got to come out here to Blue Corn Harvest.
All that and more right now on Texas Eats. The first stop on today's foodie adventures at a popular Middle Eastern restaurant setting the food scene ablaze.
Now we're here south of Piney Point Village to go inside of a wild restaurant that's serving up Turkish cuisine and Persian cuisine. And they're setting stuff on fire in here. Let's go inside Hayat Cafe. Joining me now is Benas. She's the owner out here at the restaurant. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for coming.
Everything here looks incredible. The colors, the smell, the presentation is just over the top. How did all of this get started?
Actually, we opened the restaurant like 2 years ago. This is Persian, Turkish, actually the Mediterranean restaurant. It's come with the like fire. We had a small show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when people come in, there's a show with the food, right? Because
Yes.
it comes out on a cart and it's on fire.
Yeah.
And you have two dishes actually out here on the table that show that are an example of that. But that first one over here, it's the shoulder.
Yeah.
It's the lamb shoulder. And then talk to me about that process.
Actually, we make it on the oven, and the top of that, we put the salt. We put it again on the oven and bring it back. It's come with the rice and 3 appetizers.
How long does it cook before
It's
that?
12 hours.
12 hours.
Yeah.
So that's why it's just, I mean, fall off the bone tender, right?
Yeah.
Cheers to you. This is the lamb shoulder out here. Oh my gosh, that's the bite. Give us some love. Ooh. This lamb shoulder is nuts. Super tender, fall off the bone. You have all the rice, all the accoutrement on the side, right? You can mix it all together. But I'm telling you what, all you need is this lamb. You have all that juice that's poured on top as well. So it is just super over the top tender, juicy, and flavorful. You can add whatever you want to it. You could have it by itself. It's gonna rock your world. Now this one right here is a different presentation, has the bread on top. Talk to me about this dish.
This one is the crispy, is from Turkey. This one is the lamb. We make it on the oven. After we cook it, put the bread on the top of that, and we put it on the oven like 30 minutes after that it's ready.
I got the tomato, a little bit of potato,
Yeah.
and the meat. Cheers to you. That's
Cheers.
the bite. My goodness, that is delicious. After the bread gets cut off of the top, all that steam comes out, all the flavor on the inside of this dish. Comes in both lamb and beef on the inside. All that rice and the tomatoes in there just absorb all that juice and all that flavor. It is incredible. Man, you got a little bit of everything on this dish. Talk to me about the name of this one and what's on it.
This one is the royal plate. This one is good for 6 to 8 people. We had the ground beef, like kupide, chicken boneless, chicken with bone, bark, beef shish kebab, rice, fries, tomato, jalapeno, everything. And also this one is served with 3 appetizers too.
Why do you even need the appetizers? This is wild. I love this so much. All right, cheers to you.
Cheers.
This is just one bite of all of this, but here we go. Delicious. The royal plate is the ultimate plate to get for a large group of people that want to try a little bit of everything. You have the chicken, the beef, all prepared differently. You have boneless, bone in. You can get the filet beef. You can also get the beef kebab. It's going to be a lot of flavor. You have all the onions, the tomatoes, all the veggies on the side as well, plus 3 apps that come with that. It is a lot of food and it's really good. You have another dish that comes out, and it's in the clay pot set on fire. Talk to me about this dish and what is inside the clay pot.
This one is the testi kebab. Inside is a lamb and vegetable. We're cooking like 6 hours. Also, it's coming with the rice and appetizer. It's coming with the show also, the fire.
Okay, so it's a whole deal. You get the fire, you get the jar being cracked right there.
Yeah.
Again, something you want to just take pictures and videos of. Cheers. That's the bite. Oh, wow. I love every element of this. You even have the little veggies, the color on here again.
Yeah.
The hot peppers, if you want to get a little crazy. This is the whole package right here. This right here is kanafe. This is a cheese dessert. Look at this thing. Nice and hot. That's the bite. That's insane. It is delicious. The crunch, the texture, the flavors, and the use of cheese in here mixed with that sweetness on there. It just works. It's dangerous though. You're gonna want to eat the whole thing. Look at that. This place is crazy, y'all. So Hayat Cafe, Hayat is the tree of life, is that correct?
Yes.
So it's like the tree of life cafe. Everybody can come out here, you can bring your family, live music on the weekends. There's also the hookah, but you've got to save some room for desserts. Here, you go ahead and grab one right there.
Yeah.
Cheers to you. Thank you so much for having us out here.
Thank you for coming.
This food is top notch and so is the entertainment. Definitely coming back.
Thank you.
Yes.
Now, we're cruising to Georgetown for a popular Southwestern restaurant.
Let's go inside Blue Corn Harvest. Joining me now is Santos Garcia. He is a co-owner and chef out here at the restaurant. Thank you so much for having us out here.
Thank you for being here.
Right in front of us, we have a little bit of everything, the top dishes on the menu. This one right here, though, this is like oyster shooters, right? And this is a pretty popular item.
That's real popular item, you know, light fry and real, I mean, with the mango, the slab, lime, everything, real refreshing, especially now with the summer. That's perfect appetite.
We got a mild summer this year in Texas, but I tell you what, it's still going to be delicious with some oyster shooters. All right, so get one with me here. And cheers to you.
Cheers.
Little blue corn tortilla chip as well. That's the bite. Is this the whole thing?
It's real fast.
The starter that you have to get when you come out here is the oyster shooter dish. This thing is loaded up with all kinds of flavor, a little bit of crunch on the outside of the oysters, blue corn tortilla chips, a little bit of pico on there, a little bit of fruit flavor, so you get some sweet, some salty, and a lot of crunch. I gotta try this steak. This thing's calling my name. What's on top of that?
It's a chipotle cream sauce with drizzle with the sour cream and all that combination with the seasoning on the steak.
Oh.
It gets all party in your mouth.
Oh yeah, a party in your mouth. There you go. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
All right, the chipotle ribeye. That is good. Woo! If you're looking for a steak option out here in Georgetown, you got to come out here to Blue Corn Harvest. They have a delicious chipotle ribeye. Has all kinds of cream on top, chipotle sauce, potatoes, veggies on the side as well. But the seasoning on the outside of the steak and the way that they're preparing it out here is just unbeatable. Veggies on the side too, so you don't feel as guilty, right? You feel a little healthy on there. Yeah. The chicken dish you don't see every day. It's actually stuffed with blue crab.
You know, we combine the cheese, the peppers, the Cajun cream sauce we put on the top. That's another party right there.
It's all about the parties out here,
It's all
man.
about
You
the
got a lot of
party.
parties out here. You're gonna be a regular on the show. I'm gonna come back and get Santos out here, man.
There
You
you
take
go.
my kind of bites.
There
you
you
go.
go.
This is the
Sure.
blue crab stuffed chicken. The blue crab stuffed chicken is the surf and turf dish you didn't know that you need to try. You have some cheese on the inside, the blue crab, then on the outside's marinated chicken, grilled to perfection, and then you have a little bit of veggies on there as well, some peppers. This is a really great bite, and like I said, if you're looking for something different, this is the one to get. Who would have thought, right? I mean, you get the blue crab and the chicken together. It's like a funky surf and turf that works really well. Yeah. This is like a salmon dish, but not your average salmon, right?
We use organic blue corn meal.
Ooh.
So we put it on top and, you know, do some tomatillo por blanc, veggies, and again, we use the cheddar potato cake. That gives a real good combination with the veggies, the lightness of the fish. So, you know, there's another 40 in your mouth.
Let's cheers.
Cheers.
The salmon. Here we go. The blue cornmeal on the outside of the salmon gives a really nice crispy texture, and the inside is nice and flaky and tender. Plus, you can get veggies, some potatoes on the side. It's a really tasty dish, and you also get this little crispy piece of cheese on there. Who doesn't love crispy cheese? That is a stacked plate. Oh, yeah. Y'all don't play. I mean, all of these are big dishes, man. This right here, though, wrap it up. You got to save room for dessert. What's going on with the dessert?
So we have here a peanut butter pie. You know, there is it with some chocolate and anglaise on top, whipping cream. Again, you know, it's a real good light dessert. I mean,
say it for me.
Right? It's another 40 in your mouth.
There you go. Okay. All right. This is how you wrap up your meal. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you so much for having us out here, you guys. Blue Corn out here in Georgetown. Starting from the starters, the appetizers, all the way to the entrees, desserts, the cocktails. It's just a home run in every bite. But here we go. That's the dessert. That was great, man.
Coming up later on Texas Eats, we go inside a top 50 barbecue joint slicing up the goods.
We have a platter of all the hits off your meats, right? These are all the proteins you want to get when you come out here. Sausage, ribs, chicken, brisket, and the turkey. I want to look at this brisket right here and really focus on that. That bark looks insane.
And next on the show, we check out an award-winning Indian restaurant in the Alamo City.
The rack of lamb out of the clay oven. Oh, wow.
So don't go anywhere. Texas Eats will be right back.
Welcome back to Texas Eats. Now we're here in San Antonio to go inside of a restaurant that's serving up authentic Northern Indian cuisine. Let's go inside India Oven. Joining me now is owner Goga Basi. Thank you so much for having us out here. This is such a classic restaurant in San Antonio. You know, this is actually one of my wife's most favorite restaurants in San Antonio. And all the food is always a hit. I mean, you've had the buffet going now for years, and it's always just been like out of the park delicious. Do you have a secret as to how you keep that consistency up?
It's owned by our family. My dad used to be a chef here, and he has been cooking for like more than 50 years. And he trained my husband, Jesse. And my husband is the main cook here, and whenever we do hire people, we give them our own training. It's our own recipe for more than 50 years.
Wow. All the food in front of us, these are like your big hit dishes, right? I want to start right here because this one looks like straightforward. This one doesn't have any sauce on it, but talk to me about which one this dish is.
That's called reshmi chicken, and it's cooked in a clay oven. It kind of gives you that charcoal flavor.
This is the reshmi chicken. Here's the bite. The grill flavor that's on the outside of the chicken is a really nice contrast, the acidity and the brightness from that marinade that's on there. But the yogurt and the lemon, everything is in there to break down those proteins and make this a super delicious, tender bite of chicken that everybody's gonna love. Something that people always grab for when they come to your buffets is the naan, right?
It's a North Indian cuisine recipe, but we have our own twist.
You have to have the naan on the table when you're eating Indian cuisine because it's just kind of your vehicle to kind of soak up all the flavors. This protein right here is lamb, right? Yes. And what preparation is that?
It is also cooked in the clay oven. Rack of lamb is also marinated in the yogurt, a little bit of vinegar and lemon juice, salt and pepper, and some Indian spices like garlic and ginger in it.
Oh, look at that. Nice cook
and
on
it's
there.
tender and juicy.
Here's the bite. Here's the rack of lamb out of the clay oven. Oh, wow. Really, really good. The lamb shanks are super delicious, marinated overnight, and they have a really good flavor on the outside as well. And they're locking in all those juices in the inside of the meat by searing the outside. Great grilled flavor as well. I mean, if you love lamb or you've never tried it, this is the one to try. The lamb is absolutely delicious. And in front of it, you actually have 3 different entree items as well. And talking about each one.
So the first one is aloo gobi. It is cauliflower and potatoes. It has ginger and garlic and cooked with the tomato-based sauce. This one also gives you protein. It's a homemade cheese. It's a homemade cheese made fresh and sauteed with the onions, bell pepper, and that is everybody's favorite. It's called chicken tikka masala. That's a chicken cooked in a clay oven first, just like this chicken, but it's a boneless. And that's everybody who comes at the first time, they always love this chicken tikka masala. It's everybody's favorite.
This is the one to try then.
That's
the bite. A popular, authentic dish that you can get out here at India Oven is the chicken tikka masala. And the way that they're making it out here, it's super savory, it's creamy, it's delicious. They use some of that naan bread that they're making in-house as well with the fresh garlic on there. It's like the perfect flavor combination, and it's absolutely addicting. Wow, give us some elbow. Bing. That is so good. The buffet out here at India Oven is super delicious, and it has a lot of variety in there. So if you're trying Indian cuisine for the first time, this is a really good opportunity to see what you like. But if you also love Indian cuisine, it's a great opportunity to come out here and just eat everything. The lamb, the chicken, the entrees in the front here, the chicken on the side, it's just delicious, and it's so good. And it is a testament to why you guys are so successful here. You guys, India Oven, it is absolutely delicious. Thank you so much for having us out here.
Thank you.
Texas Eats, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Houston edition of Texas Eats. Now we're here in the Spring Branch area to go inside of a barbecue joint that just opened up their second location. Plus, they were just named a top 50 barbecue joint by Texas Monthly Magazine. Let's go inside Feges BBQ. Joining me now is Patrick Feges. He is the owner and pitmaster out here at the barbecue joint. Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for coming by.
I mean, top 50. That's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. That was one of our goals, and we knocked it out of the park.
And some of the top items on the menu that people come for, you got the burnt ends, the ribs, you have all your side items. How did all of this get started?
It started out as a hobby. I started doing pop-ups and stuff when I was working at Underbelly, and Chris kind of pushed me out of the nest and made me really try and do this full time, and it just kind of took off from there.
I want to look at this brisket right here and really focus on that. That bark looks insane. What's the process like making the brisket?
So we trim the briskets so they're evenly sized, so they cook evenly, more aerodynamic. Heavy salt and pepper, a little bit of garlic powder, onion powder, but you still get that nice crispy bark on top.
That was the brisket test. Holds up on its own weight, pull it apart. I mean, tender. That's the way you do it. All right, here we go. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
This is the marbled brisket out here. Oh my God.
That's good. That's good. I'm gonna do another bite.
Wow. The marbled brisket is so tender, holds up on its own weight. When you pull it apart, it's perfect. And that's how you know it's cooked really nice. That's why they're a top 50 barbecue joint. And when you take that bite, you get that slight smokiness on the outside. The bark is so even coated and nice. You get a good texture from that. But on the inside, it's that warm brisket flavor that you're looking for. The ribs right here, you got them nice and shiny, glazed up. What's going on with those?
So the ribs, we hit it with our beef rub, the same rub we use for our brisket, but we spritz it throughout the process, keep it moist and add flavor to it, and then we glaze it when we take it off.
You got to get ready. It's messy
Yeah,
out here.
yeah.
I love it. Here we go.
Right.
Cheers. That's the
Cheers.
ribs. Oh, that's very nice. These ribs are sticky and delicious. I love the outside on them. That bark that is formed on there is really nice. Again, with that texture on there that they're forming. Coming from that brisket, it's the same rub, but they're adding a little bit extra to it. Then they add that glaze on there. It just becomes tacky, almost like a candy on the outside. You just barely tug on these things. The meat comes right off. These are phenomenal ribs. In the front though, this is like the one that people, you got to know about it when you come in. Big red burnt ends.
Yep.
Talk to me about that process.
So when we trim the brisket, there's this flap that we end up cutting off because it would get too crispy and dried out. And so we smoke that separately, cool it off, cube it up, re-season it, and toss it in this big red glaze that we make and throw it back on the smoker.
I mean, you barely push on it and it's just falling apart in your hands. Here we go.
That's
Cheers.
barbecue. Eat with your hands.
There you go. Wow. Ooh. Something you won't find at any other barbecue joint, big red brisket burnt ends, and that's what they're making out here. Incredible. It's meat candy. They have that nice glaze on the outside, nice and peppery as well. The seasoning is so perfect on these burnt ends. On the inside, I mean, all you gotta do is squeeze them a little bit. They just fall apart in your hand. You just wanna eat the whole basket, but they're very shareable as well. But you can't just be top 50 with just the meats, right? You
Not
gotta have the
anymore.
side items, you gotta have all the action. We got some desserts in the middle, but over here, you have a little bit of everything off the sides menu that everybody wants to come in for. So what's in the front right there?
So this is our loaded potato mash. It's our version of potato salad. We serve it warm, but it's got, bacon, sour cream, onions, cheese, just like you'd get a loaded potato. And then next to it is our Korean braised greens. We add a little bit of Korean chili paste to it, spice it up a little bit. Our biscuits with cinnamon honey butter. And then next to it, we have our macaroni salad. We put chopped pickled okra in there.
This is the spot to come to. If you love barbecue sauce as well, you have a variety on the table that you can choose from that you're making here in-house. I saw you got a mustard base, you got a sweet red, then you got a little white action going on.
Alabama white, yeah.
Alabama white. And it's phenomenal when you add it to the brisket. It helps cut through all that fat as well. Everything out here is exceptional. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, man, for having us out here. 2 locations here in Houston, you guys. The sides, the desserts, you can't go wrong with anything. And of course, you gotta wash it down with ice cold beer.
Right?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Texas Eats. We'll be right back.
Thank you so much for watching today's episode of Texas Eats. And to get more information and a map on all the restaurants that you've seen on today's show, just go to our website, clicktohouston.com/Texas Eats. And don't forget to follow us on social media at Texas Eats TV on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And don't forget to join us every Sunday at 10:30 in the morning right here on KPRC2, because this is how Texas Eats.